9-year-old got out at the library that we pick her up at. Started dancing the Macarena right on the sidewalk while she's walking up. It was fucking incredible. I was laughing so hard.
Oh, she can hear it as you're pulling up?
Oh, yeah.
She starts doing the Macarena.
No,
my
9-year-old. No, I'm picking up the 13-year-old. We pull up and stop, and it's playing real loud, and my 9-year-old just jumps out, starts dancing the Macarena on the sidewalk while my 13-year-old is walking toward the car.
Funny. Well, you both laughed at her.
I was laughing pretty
hard. All right, where's this video link?
We're doing it live.
Are we live, people?
We're fucking live.
There we go. All right. I do got some, I got a couple YouTube clips of like the burning and the
I'm pulling them up.
Gushing you can pull later.
I'm a fucking professional, dude.
I know.
The gushing?
Yeah. I'm a fucking professional.
What the fuck are we doing? This show on?
Gushing all over that big gulf. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this week on the Red Eye Report, we're talking about the Deepwater Horizon. That record-breaking drill rig that set world records for drilling the deepest well and later spilling the most oil. On the rig tonight, we have Mystic. His character would be the big-ass cigar-chomping VIP from BP, demanding we work faster and always complaining about there being no elevators. Nobody likes him. But he pays the bills and will probably die in the end. Not from the rig blowout, but from loneliness.
Loneliness?
Wow.
Because nobody likes you on the oil rig.
Oh, diabetes.
Diabetes. Yeah, I know. I always poke fun at your diabetes. I thought I'd just blame loneliness this time. Then we have Oracle. So when NASA comes to the oil rig to request our help drilling a nuke into an incoming asteroid, Oracle's the only one crazy enough to volunteer. We never saw him again. And 6 weeks later, the entire world was destroyed.
Fuck yeah. And I'm fucking aliens.
And then Teddy would, of course, be the stereotypical black oil driller, always saying, "This don't feel right." And I wouldn't do that in Detroit if I were you.
I do not talk like a fucking 1950s chain gang runaway. And what the fuck, man? Really?
Who stole my DC Flash Collector shirt?
Oh, no, sir. I don't think we should be going down that dark hole. What the fuck is this, man? Don't talk like that.
Oh, man.
Racist bastard.
You're the first one to see, like, the creature or whatever.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because I just gotta outrun you three motherfuckers. And I know for a fact I can outrun all three of y'all.
Oh, I'm going first. I'll be the sacrificial lamb.
And then
ashtray, I'm gonna break Ashtray's knee just for the fun of it. Just keep going.
As Ashtray, I'd be the kooky old maintenance man who lives in the mop room. I'd have the best Pine Sol moonshine, a collection of classic porno, the kind you don't have to download. Come to me for wisdom, and I'll just reply with perpetual ponderings that wander off into useless dribble about pork rinds and Miss July, 1969.
And that's when you know the chloroform is taking hold.
And this is the Red Eye Report. That's how good the moonshine is.
I feel like that really isn't that much of a stretch for you to be that maintenance man. I mean, that's basically a dead-on description of you.
Give me another 30 years. Yep. I don't
know that that's a stretch for any of us. Except Teddy. Teddy's like the only one that I could never see him being like, "Oh yeah, Sebastian, we're gonna get this oil drilled."
There's no way Teddy's working on a fucking oil drill.
At all,
No.
yeah.
No.
That's why I just pictured him being the paranoid one.
Yeah, but why did I talk like I ran away from a chain gang?
Because you're playing a character, Teddy, in a movie.
I wasn't.
By imagination.
So my character's like demeaned because I don't speak proper English on the boat, on the oil rig, whatever the fuck it is.
No, you just said this don't feel right.
Yeah, I know, but the way
when you say that term, you would use it in that tone. That's all.
I would never say this don't feel right like that. This shit don't feel right, man.
You're playing a character.
Whatever. Your race is gone. Fuck you. Let's go. Fuck you. Fuck you. Go.
In my racist imagination.
Whatever, man.
All right, the Deepwater Horizon. You all remember that big old oil rig that Well, which
Mark blew up.
Mark and Mark blew it up, right? Yeah, I actually have not seen the movie. Mystic has, but you can only remember Marky Mark's oiled up abs.
That man makes me moist.
So I guess I
will say this before you I didn't know how many oil rigs there were until I took that cruise to Mexico, and I had to see at least like 15 or 20. It was like a shit ton in the Gulf of Mexico. Like there's a shit ton of them. Like there's a lot of them. Just like bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah, they're crazy fortresses, and I always thought they just drilled. The oil rigs drilled down and to the crust of the earth. They hit oil, and then they pump the oil up and barrel it, and that's how they make oil. Well, it's actually the Deepwater Horizon is a drilling rig and not an oil rig. There are two different things. They look the same. Drilling rig, so it comes down and drills, bores, and makes the actual well, and then they will seal it off. It's called temporary abandonment, which just means that they plug it, and then an actual real oil rig that comes later hooks up to it. They blow out the concrete plug, and then that's the rig that actually collects the oil and sends it out. So they're two different things. Deepwater Horizon was let's see here. It was built in 2001. It was owned by Transocean, and it was leased to BP. So there's three corporate characters to remember in this story. There's Transocean, they own the rig. BP is the one who's actually leasing it, paying Transocean to drill that well. And Halliburton, they're the ones who are basically another contractor to BP, like Transocean. They're the ones who handled the cement. So on the night of April, this is after 7 years of no time loss safety accidents, and they literally, I didn't know this either, but on that night of the explosion, they had a VIP gathering of top dogs for not only Transocean but also BP and Halliburton, and they're kind of having a powwow and watching really shitty PowerPoints about how great their safety record is. And this is April 20th, 2010, and they were already 5 weeks behind schedule. And this, keep in mind, the estimates are about $1 million a day to run a drill. And so every day behind schedule just costs more and more for BP. So they were.
It sucks for the billionaires. Oh,
yeah, I know. Well,
yeah, they're losing so much money.
They're losing $1 million a day. They have it to lose.
Their cost-saving measures screwed themselves. After all the money they ended up having to pay after the accident. So we got this guy, Wyman Wheeler. He was the guy. He's like, I swear this something ain't right.
Wyman Wheeler
he sounds like the villain in a comic.
Yeah, like a DC.
It does sound like a villain name.
Yeah.
But actually, Wyman Wheeler was the one who was like, I swear this is leaking, because they do this pressure test to make sure that the actual plug is sealed. And this guy, Jason Anderson, who's the actual villain, he's the one who takes over for the night shift. And he's like, oh, it's all right. And the head honchos are there. So one of the, head honchos is like, Jason, you got this? And he's like, oh, yeah, man, go eat. I got this. It's all good. And so,
just let him do the voices.
And all of a sudden, they do the second pressure test. And Jason Anderson is just like, oh, that's what we call the bladder effect. It's just giving us a false reading. Where when the pressure is sealed, there should be 0 PSI. This was reading.
I just want to say, I've seen the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I swear to God, you just quote the movie. But go ahead. I don't know. It's just,
I watched one of those. I watched one of those
called a reenactment,
National Geographic disaster episode, but I didn't watch the actual movie yet. But
yeah.
I probably am paraphrasing the quotes.
Teddy, you can't call anybody out on fucking paraphrasing a fucking article.
Why can't I call anybody out on paraphrasing?
Because you're the fucking worst at it. You're like you read your Wikipedia or whatever, that it fucking breaks. You're like, oh shit, what's up with this thing?
Yeah.
It's not Wikipedia. It's always some website, not Wikipedia. Fuck you.
Oh, okay.
Go on.
So, as the
Eat a dick, Oracle.
as a oil well is drilled, so as they drill down, they actually follow the drill bit with steel pipes, and so once it gets down to the bottom of that drill bit is called the annulus. So basically, think of it like a straw in water. It's the opening at the bottom. The annulus has basically there's space between that and the drill bit, and what they have to do is pump this concrete.
You want to laugh.
I know. I'm trying.
You're trying not to. Look at you.
I'm trying to say it right. Annulus. I had to look it up how it's spelled because I just kept it right in analus. And, this is 3.5 miles down, mind you.
Damn.
And so, like, they can't see what they're drilling. It's like they're in the Earth's crust. All they can do, they're basically doing it blind. And they are hoping to think of it. I couldn't think of a better way to describe it other than, like, think of a thin or a narrow dildo in a very big, wide pussy. And there's space around it, right?
Okay.
Well, to plug that up,
you could have done a straw in a cup, bro. Why'd you have to go do it to a pussy?
Well, because you have to describe something. You have to describe something filling in a hole, but not touching the sides, being centered.
A straw in a cup. In a cup.
Yeah, but hey, I'm talking about something inside the straw. The straw is the steel pipe. That's different than the bore head of the drill. The forehead of the drill would be what they then put in this. Basically, it's what they inject the concrete with. It has to be evenly spaced around the sides, so the concrete goes up and around the straw, i.e. the steel pipe, and seals it off. The thing is, you have to put these things called centralizers, which are big, like, metal collars that go on the pipe, and they are like a buffer to keep it straight.
With the condom going on, or
kind of like that, yeah. So BP was supposed to, let's see here. They were supposed to use, they were recommended by Halliburton, because Halliburton is handling the cementing part, the closing. They're like, well, you need 21 centralizers. Think of them as these collars that keep it centered. You're going 3.5 miles down. Oh, what'd they have on the rig? 6. And so one of the guys at BP was like, all right, I'll fly 15 more out there. And he takes initiative because his boss wasn't there. Well, then when the boss finds out, of course, the boss is like, oh, no, those are the newfangled centralizers. Those ones will get snagged up and we'll get caught up in the well, and it'll be worse than if we have a blowout. And so they basically just went with 6. 3.5 miles down, there's 6 points that you can keep that pipe centered. So what happens when it's not centered down and the cement starts to fill in this cavity, it fills in unevenly. Add on top of that, Halliburton, the ones who are making the cement. So apparently, not only is these centralizers, every time it's different for every well, depending upon the kind of rock, the distance, they're drilling. Same goes with the cement they use to plug it. It all varies with the type of environment and the pressures. So because they were worried about the pipe being too thin, because they're already saving money by using too narrow of steel pipes, they nitrogenize the cement. Basically, they pump it full of nitrogen bubbles, just like a nitro beer. Problem with that is if you don't have perfect even spread of that cement, the bubbles all coalesce and start making channels. And those channels, then the oil just floods up to that, and that's boom how the explosion happened. This 1400 psi eventually broke through, shot up through the rig. They believe Jason Anderson, the guy who's like, I got it, buddy, don't worry, go get some sleep. Yeah, he's dead. And
can we look at explosions now? Is that okay?
Yeah. Wow.
It's like the explosion now. This is the the one video is the actual dying moments when it burned for 36 hours. And
did anybody survive?
Well, yes, there was 126 people on board total. Only 11 died. But that's one thing you didn't hear about in the news, about how many of those higher up managers and VIPs were actually on there and had to get in those life dinghies and drop off the edge of the rig into the sea. You think they would take regulatoriness a little more serious. But so anyways, Jason Anderson and his crew, they all died. Initially it starts shooting gushers of mud and oil up right through the center of the rig. And then high concentrations of methane gas come out to where it looks like the walls are covered in condensation, and like the survivors were saying their faces were all of a sudden beating up, but it was methane gas condensating on them and they're breathing it in. Like they were saying, it's hard to breathe. And so everything is basically misted in methane, and doesn't take too long before that vapor, high concentrated vapor, gets to the engine room where the generators are running. And essentially that vapor just got sucked into the air intake of the engines, and then explosion out the exhaust.
Out like a fucking, like a flamethrower almost.
Think about that, yeah.
Wow.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what really like set the whole thing up. And
even crazier is it took you like 12 minutes to get to this point.
I know, right? I had to lead up to all the details. I took a lot of notes. It leaked for 86 days. I remember it ended up being about 5 million barrels.
How many gallons?
That it?
Yeah, 5. Yeah, I was actually thinking it would be more, but when the thing finally sank, it then, you have to think of that steel pipe, that long straw started bending and snapping, and as that came down, it all twisted at the bottom where the BOP is, the blowout preventer. And this is why why they couldn't get the thing to stop, is because they have safety measures that are supposed to be redundant in these kind of emergency situations. The BOP is it's a blowout preventer. Basically, it's what you'll see on the screen now, this weird metal contraption. That's at the top of the well. And that has these, it's called the EDS, Emergency Disconnect System. If you hit that emergency button up at the rig, it's got these big steel pinchers that slam in and like basically just pinch that steel pipe shut. That's the sophisticatedness of this emergency system. So just pinch it off. Well, that didn't work. So then they've got and it turns out too, a 2001 investigation, which the regulators and the oil companies basically didn't pay attention to, showed that 50% of these blowout preventer units failed to actually fully pinch off the pipe. There's a
50%?
50%, yes. And there's a second backup called the Dead Man, which is one that's like, if the battery, like the power cord, the information cord that connects the unit to the rig, if that's cut or the power's in some way cut, it automatically is a battery powered pincher that's supposed to clamp the thing off. Well, it turns out when they finally were able to get down there and test it, it only had 7.6 volts in the battery, and it should have been at 27 volts. Transocean swears, we charged it. We charged it before that accident. It just must have wore out. It's like a girlfriend who borrows your Bluetooth speaker. I swore I charged it.
Should have got a Duracell. Just saying.
Right? So that's how that failed. As you can see there, that's just like one of those twisted pipes. So those extra things that were supposed to clamp the pipe off didn't work. Both of them.
Could no one find Chuck Norris during this whole thing?
Right? Yeah, right.
All he had to do was just dive down there,
tie it together, fucking
tie it like a bow tie.
Yeah.
And he'd be done. But no, 86 days later, I guess Obama just didn't want to hire Chuck Norris, or maybe Chuck Norris doesn't like Obama.
I think it's more likely the latter.
Yeah. I ain't gonna save America for you. I do remember, though, after a couple months of that, thinking like, God, imagine if they just could not get this thing to stop. And we had a severe, like, the world slowly died because we just poisoned the sea.
But I mean, eventually it's going to happen. They're going to hit a pocket of oil.
It's already.
It's like not going to stop, and the oil's going to turn. The sea's going to turn black and shit.
Not just that; it's the garbage too, the plastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
we are slowly killing it, but
how did they fucking stop this shit?
How they ended up stopping it, nobody knows.
What do you mean nobody knows?
Just stopped one day.
Just stopped. No, what they did, they had some brilliant these like containment domes, where let's see if I got a picture of that in one of these Wikipedia ones. I think it's in the oil spill one. It looks basically like a big tower house that they set down. It's oil containment dome. They tried to just set it over the entire thing, and then what they did was pump the oil out, like as it collected up in this siphon. But they were only, projected like maybe getting 30 to 50% of actually the oil that was leaking was actually, they were able to pump directly up and just contain it instead of it letting it get into the water. Because there's, as you saw in that video, all those twisted pipes were just laying on the seabed and they were leaking in all different spots.
Yeah, so they had to basically shut off the main.
Well, it's the thing is they couldn't shut that initial main off until they probably remember them talking about relief wells that they drilled, which is essentially just making new wells and letting the pressure come out of those as well to try to equalize it enough that, or they get the pressure down low enough. They did eventually, they got concrete in there to seal it for good. So it is now, after 86 days, they finally were able to declare it a dead well. But it says here,
so they punctured more holes in the water balloon to let less water out.
Well, they punch more holes in the water balloon, but those holes are in active wells that are collected. So they're not, those holes aren't leaking into the ocean. They're basically extra oil rigs that come and start pumping from that same chasm area to take the pressure out. And so that's how they finally closed that up there. But yeah, it was about 5 million barrels. And
be so disappointed.
Gosh, they had 2013 alone, 73 years later, there was 4.6 million pounds of oiled material, which is like those tar balls and the sandy sluts, was removed out of Louisiana coastline alone.
Damn. So wasn't there like a unexpected algae or some sort of organism that was eating the oil?
I do remember hearing something about that, but I can't remember. I know there was also a big uproar about the dispersant. So most of the stuff I read up on was the actual how the accident itself happened. But remember the dispersants they were spraying, which I guess was supposed to make the oil all like, oh, we'll just sink it to the bottom. Oh, there's nothing down there. Yeah.
So the fucking Kraken's just like, what the fuck are you retards doing?
God! Got oil in my eyes.
Yeah, that blows.
So yeah, I guess I didn't really know how the old Deepwater Horizon blew.
Oh my god!
And so it was not only they found it was BP's cost saving measures, but it was also Halliburton's shitty cement, and then it was Transocean's. Like Transocean was the one running the drill,
So basically, it was a bunch of cheap ass rich white people.
Yeah, Halliburton in their own laboratory tests. I forgot to mention that in their own they had, because every drill needs a different type of cement. They actively, as they're getting ready for this process, they have onshore scientists who work on the recipe for the cement that will be used. And they 2 or 3 tests, that cement mixture was failing, where the nitrogen bubbles were forming channels, and they didn't tell BP. And then they eventually like, oh, this certain way of mixing it, if you mix it extra long, then it works. But the problem is that is like 3.5 miles under. You can't get down there to look at it. You can't send a rover down to like see, was it the cement that blew out? Like it's stuck down in the way down below the earth. No one will know.
Wow.
Oh, Transocean, their fault was the fact that the blowout preventer, that battery wasn't charged, and the emergency steel pinchers didn't even work.
Somebody was using it to charge their fucking PSP.
Yeah, right.
Fucking piece of shit.
This world is
goddamn right. It was me.
Yep, it was that black oil.
That would be Teddy's role in this.
Yes, sir. I was charging a PSP. How the fuck he did it earlier in the fucking intro made me sound like a 1950s.
No, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Got it.
Guess what? I'm in a lifeboat playing PSP while the rest of the motherfuckers panicking.
While the thing is burning, you don't give a fuck.
The last scene.
You would have taken a whole
scene. All these people are dying and shit, and it just like fucking slowly fades out to Teddy playing his PSP in a lifeboat.
Right.
Yeah, fucking white.
Take a whole lifeboat for himself. There's only 2 guys on this thing.
Yeah. That should have been faster. I'm out.
I'm surprised though that many people survived, but I guess they had about 5 minutes to get their asses off.
Huh.
So yeah, it's the Deepwater Horizon. Now we're moving on to the What's Sexy. We're gonna talk first with Mystic, Chappelle's new stand.
Great.
It's fucking super hilarious.
Fun. It's typical Chappelle. He just fucking
kills it.
He's such a good storyteller that he can basically say whatever the fuck he wants. Like Chappelle has a unique way of like telling you to go fuck yourself, and you thinking that it's the funniest thing on the planet.
It's pretty funny.
It's just how it is, I guess.
It's you. It's just you, the audience.
Yeah.
It's like, you all are the worst motherfuckers on the planet. Trying to make you sons of bitches laugh. It was always good.
Oh yeah, check it out.
That's on Netflix.
It's new.
It's on Netflix. Yeah.
Now, did he have a deal for like 5 stand-ups or whatever? Because he had like the 2 right out the gate, right?
Yeah, this is the 5th one. Well, both of those were 2 hours long. They were 2 specials. So he's had 5 stand-ups that he's done.
Oh, okay. And that's all on Netflix?
Yeah. Yep. And then make sure you check out, it's called The Epilogue. It's after, like, it's under the trailers and more section of like when you click on the Sticks and Stones stand-up. Mm-hmm. And it's like he took that same act to Broadway, and then like had like a Q&A afterward, and people were asking him questions about advice for comedians and all kinds of shit. It's pretty funny. But like he comes out of the epilogue, and the first thing he says is, "Man, you people in the front row, I heard y'all had a problem. Some of you were paying like $800 to come here tonight." He's like, "That's fucked up, because 2 weeks ago I did this same fucking show in Atlanta for $60." He's like, "You could have flown to Atlanta, had something to eat, saw the show, came back, and still had a few $100s to buy some cocaine or some shit." He's like, "But no, you paying $800 because I came to this faggoty ass neighborhood or some shit. We call it faggot neighborhood." Oh, it's fucking great. He's like, "Let me get on with these pussy jokes then." Like he's like the last time, or there ain't been this many pussy references in this building since Cats. Broadway. It was fucking great though. It's I like the Q&A section better because it's just him talking to people. He's still funny as fuck. He knows how to work a room. Anyway, check it out.
Word. All right, moving on next to Teddy. Control.
Yay! Control is a weird fucking game. It's a third-person shooter. The story is real weird. It looks like an Oracle type game. It's on Game Pass.
I want to get this one. It is Game Pass.
It is on Game Pass.
Fuck no, it isn't.
That's where I got it from.
Game Pass?
Yeah.
Is it new?
Maybe.
I think you're
maybe you blew. Were you just about to say maybe I bought it?
I am high, but I'm thinking maybe I did buy it.
What?
but I believe I believe check the Game Pass and see. I believe it's on Game Pass.
All right.
I mean, I checked mine right now, but it turned my camera off.
What kind of game is it? I'm waiting for the footage.
It's have you clicked on the trailer yet?
Yeah,
it's a third-person shooter. The story is real weird. You walk into this agency. There's an entity with you that's been with you from experience that happened in your past. Your brother's taken from you by the agency that you walked into. It's the thing about this game is I fast forward through a lot of story in video games. I'm just click because I can generally figure it out. But like this shit has made me want to watch. I mean, like this shit has made me want to watch the story because it's the cutscenes are pretty cool. Cutscenes are pretty cool. It keeps you guessing because it doesn't give you all the information. It makes you like, okay, I got to go over here to turn these on so I can get this going or whatever because you got to end the lockdown and shit. But they give you snippets of story just enough to make you get you to go to the next point.
So what kind of a? Is it a shooter?
It is a shooter. You have a gun. It's called. They have these things called objects of power, and the gun you have is one of them. And the gun can transform into different forms. The agency building you're in is a shifting building, and it's under attack by this thing that they named the Hiss. It's a real cool, crazy, fucked up game. It is real trippy, dog. It's pretty cool though. I swear it's on Game Pass. Like I really want to look and see.
It's not on Game Pass.
The graphics are really good.
But yeah, this is definitely on my radar. Remedy made this. So Remedy is the studio behind the Max Payne series.
Is it on Steam?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be on Steam.
Yep. What are you playing? You're playing it on Xbox One X, Teddy?
On Xbox One X, yeah. I mean, the only downside I have to say is when you load up the the map, for some reason I switched my shit. For some reason down was jump, and I switched it to A. We want to change that shit. But the map, when you pop it up, it'll show you like the names of the main places you can fast travel to or go to, but the actual map won't pop up for a while. So you'll have to close it and pop it up or leave it up for a while until you can actually see corridors and stuff. But I mean the game is cool. It is kind of challenging because you have the gun, plus you have powers and stuff that you can level up. Yeah, one of them's
find it on Steam.
Yeah, one of them's telekinetic. You can pick up shit and throw it at people, and you can stop rockets and throw back grenades, and eventually you can pick up people. But if there's one of the cool things I learned is if there's nothing around for you, usually you can only pick up a fucking a canister or something. But if there's nothing around, you can look at a wall and rip out part of that wall and throw it at people at the floor. It's really destructive, really interactive. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really badass. I love Remedy. How they do in-game TV shows and shit too.
Yeah, the part of the story is you'll learn when you go to a sector or whatever, there'll be either a projector or a TV, and you go to it and click it, and it'll be kind of like a slanted view, and it'll be. You ever seen Lost?
Not available.
Any of y'all ever watched Lost before?
No.
It's kind of like
I remember the show, but
it's
never watched.
It's like it's like an old 1950 style informational video.
Oh,
but the video is actual people. It's not in the game's graphics. It's an actual guy with real people. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, the way they tell the story, you find out information about what's going on. It's real cool and engaging. And for me to I play a lot of video games, and for a game to do that to have me sit through a cutscene, it's fucking it's yeah.
That's cool. For the first time, I've understood what you're talking about. No, I'm serious. Like you like video games so much, and I'm that way with movies. For a movie to fucking make me go, oh shit, that was really cool.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of fucking movies, so that's cool.
Right.
It does look like a cool game for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Word.
Ashtray.
All right, moving on. Sorry. Oracle. I was mesmerized by this game. It actually is really pretty. We're moving on to shit that works and doesn't require a lot of effort.
Yep. Shit that works.
Like fiber shits. Fiber blast.
Fiber blast. Fucking Jose Canseco's Fibroblast.
Yeah. Fibroblast.
So one of the challenges with the Red Eye Report is that we have like over 200, or we're at episode 249 as of this one. So whenever we have to make any changes to our website and how things are on there or where things are hosted and whatnot, it can be a big pain in the fucking ass. And I've spent, many a fucking hour, day, week, fortnight over the past several years. This is my dad. He's a carpenter, and he would be building, onto his shed. This is my shitty shed project that seems to never end, and is lewd and will probably get me arrested someday.
Your dad must have wild shed.
But I wasn't talking about the shed. I was talking about the Red Eye Report. But I found like a good. So it used to be the only good embeddable player out there, or one of the only good ones, was like SoundCloud. And back in the day, you would have to. I've paid over $100 to host, shit. Over my projects and stuff like that. And because computing, it's a lot cheaper. Storage is, storage for a show like ours is a fucking drop in the bucket nowadays. And you can get this shit for free. And the players, you just put a link in fucking WordPress. That's what we use for our website. It just, puts it on there. So it's nice for once to I've been going through and kind of just adding like a nice responsive player to our website, to our old episodes. It's a lot easier, a fuck ton easier than what it's been in the past. So it's been nice. And it's always good to kind of go through the back catalog. And, I'll read the intros sometimes, and they're so fucking retarded. Like,
yes, we are.
My hope is that, there are people on the internet that accidentally stumble upon our website and start going through the pages, and they're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, that's all I ask for, really.
Right? Bafflement.
As long as that's happening. Well, so if you haven't gone to the redeyereport.com, we do have a lot of our episodes. We have custom murals for all the episodes that are posted up. And, when Ashtray isn't feeling lazy,
yeah, he gets a few done.
Right. We got all of our show links and stuff. And it's kind of
like Mystic helps.
It's kind of nice to just go back and look at that shit, because it's ridiculous. But yeah, that's what we do.
So good old DIY mural, my shining achievement.
Yeah, right. Yeah, check that one out. That's all I got.
All right, moving on to Ashtray. That would be me. You might think this is stupid, but I thought it was brilliant idea for a restaurant. This place called Ziggy's Bar and Grill up in Fond du Lac. I swung into there, instead of like fries, curly fries, tater tots, side salad. They had all those, but one of the options was grilled fajita vegetables. And I was like, fuck yeah, I love me some grilled fajita vegetables. And so I got their crispy chicken and cheese curd wrap, which is more like, you might as well call it a burrito, because
it's fucking delicious. It's a fucking burrito with cheese curds,
basic cheese curds and crispy chicken tenders inside.
Fuck, you can't even get cheese curds out here.
And then I got the grilled fajita vegetables on the side. You know, it's like, sure, maybe the same amount of calories as French fries, but you know, it's better than fryer grease calories. You just shovel those on top of it. Oh, it's delicious. And I was like, why don't more restaurants offer that?
I honestly, I swear, if anybody set up a cheese curd fucking stand out here, they'd be a fucking millionaire. They'd make so much fucking money.
You think it'd just be too hard to transport?
So go ahead,
dude.
Do it, Oracle. Buy a few cows.
Yeah,
start making you some cheese.
Get you some curds and whey. So, all right. I think more restaurants should do that, and that's my sexy, greasy fajita vegetables. Moving on to fuck what you think. And we're going again with me, because I'm special. Ashtray. Native Instruments is laying off 20% of their workforce, which really sucks to hear, because rumors are that it's a lot of the people in their hardware division, which my most recent... And I've been putting off like switching to their gear, but I've been wanting to because it's so well integrated. It's not just relying on.
What is this? What are you talking?
Native Instruments is company out of Germany that makes sound software and equipment, and they also make the Tractor DJ software and platform, which is what I use to work with. And I just invested in one of their new flagship controllers, you know, and then now here, like, well, we're gutting our 20% of our workforce, especially in our hardware department. It's like, mate, you don't know how much that's going to affect. It wouldn't be so bad if, like, I have to get a different controller, but if they start not supporting the software as much, it'll just be a real pain in the ass to try to switch over to something different. I'm too many years used to it.
What is the name of it?
Native Instruments is the company.
It's a great name.
Tractor Pro is the DJ software that I use.
I don't care about that part. Native Instruments. That's a cool name. Yes.
It's also a video game, Tractor Pro.
They've been around since '96.
Yeah, I bet it is.
So yeah, this is, I guess, the biggest like layoff they've had little minor layoffs, but never like
information. They're just saying.
Well, I think what it is they're trying to put their company in a position. I mean, there's a lot of these kind of employment rumor sites where people have been bitching that there's a disconnect. Like a lot of companies you'll get where it's like, there's a disconnect between upper management and the real people down here doing the work. And
I feel like that is said in every single place ever.
But employees don't say it out loud until after they've been laid off.
Sure.
That's just the nature of it. But rumors are that they're trying to position their company to be most attractive to be sold to a larger company. And one way to make your company look more profitable and increase funds is to actually lay people off. It's one of these dirty tricks that my crooked ex-wife like bragged about, in the sense that I can't remember what company she had stock in, but she was like, yeah, they just laid off people. I'm like, that's terrible. And she's like, but the stock's going to go up now because they're not spending all that money on labor. It's like, but the people who lost their jobs. Nope, bitch didn't care.
Any idea who would buy them?
I'm not sure.
Beats by Dre.
Yeah, right. Fuck, Beats by Dre.
No, Soulja Boy's going to buy him and turn him into a video game company.
Anyways, it might not mean too much for me, but just so long as I don't have to switch software, because I don't want to have to reset all that work.
Dude, Winamp's always waiting for you.
Yep.
Winamp with the automatic cross.
Is that still around?
Dude, I use Winamp. Fuck yeah.
Is it still
I use
around?
when I first DJ'd, I
Holy
used to use it.
shit!
Oh yeah,
I didn't know this shit was still around.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right, moving on to Oracle. Dumb fucking music players. Speaking of which.
Yeah, right. Wow, what an amazing segue.
Right?
Oh, you're talking about Winamp?
Amazon Music.
Anytime now. Yes,
is fucking
Amazon.
retarded. Is
Really?
Their algorithm for their radio stations is fucking dumb. Like it just
I never use radio stations.
It never generates good music, and comes up with like new and interesting tracks or anything. It's great for, you know, if you know what you want to listen to, but if you want to have like a radio thing where, you know, it's kind of trying out some new things or whatever, from my experience, I was listening to the exact same shit like every time I would listen to that station when I'd go to the gym.
Where it felt like this is the same 15 songs.
Yeah, same order, like everything, and it's like, okay, well, I mean,
it's not really a radio station then.
Right.
You might as well.
Just a playlist.
I use their playlist, yeah, because you can actually choose. You can see what's in it, and you can put it on shuffle.
which is
this sounds
fine.
like a play. This sounds like the
right.
radio stations are a playlist without shuffle.
Exactly. So just, you know, tell me what it is, and I'll just make a playlist. But anyway, so I was like, fuck. What's Pandora up to, you know, these days?
I haven't used them, and
so I fired up Pandora, and I've got Pandora on the Xbox, and just they're like the first one that I remember, you know, that actually had like the algorithm with the thumbs up and the thumbs down and shit. It's just so much better, and I'm hearing music, like discovering new bands and shit, and that's what I want. So I guess, you know, my gripe really with the Amazon thing is, you know, don't, and the thing that really sucks too is like you can't just make a station off of anything. Like you're kind of stuck
Pandora,
with
you could have
categories.
either a song or an artist.
Right. Like there are specific artists that you can make stations off of. So it already kind of channels you in, and that isn't what I was looking for. So I don't know. I found that to be lame. I'm digging Pandora right now. I've been listening to the band Once Human, or I made a station from them, and that's been working out really well for me. But yeah, that's my
cool.
I just got sick of hearing the same fucking thing.
Well, if it goes in the same order, that would get very dull. Because it's pointless then. It's not really a radio station. An unshuffleable playlist.
I just download the albums on Amazon Music.
Yeah.
It was great for that when I was using it.
So how much do you pay for the actual unlimited Amazon Unlimited or whatever?
I don't even remember.
Is it $10 a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 10. If you do Pandora, they're like,
but
whatever,
you don't get
ad free. You don't get to keep it, and it's $5. I think Spotify has something.
I think
Spotify does have. I use Spotify. It has a radio setting. Which I like using. You can do off of any. You can do it off of a playlist, off of a group of music on a playlist you have.
I think you can Amazon Unlimited.
You can do it. You can do it off of a single artist or an album. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Mystic, can you?
The premium is $10 a month for Spotify. Spotify is free though, so. But it comes with commercials and shit, and you can only like fast forward. You can only fast forward like 7 or 8 songs and whatever, but you can still download albums and shit.
Yeah, fuck Spotify. Mystic, when you download those on Amazon, does it let you play them on anything outside of the Amazon player?
I haven't tried.
Because
download it right onto.
I think that at least when I listen to the things that they will offer on Prime for Prime users, so it's not full unlimited, but I know like I can't download those and then take them into my DJ software. I have to actually buy the
right. You'd have to buy it, but
Yeah, I mean that would be. I mean, you could just download.
Well, it's not very unlimited.
Pay for 1 month, pay $10 and get fucking thousands of.
Yeah,
this isn't fucking Napster, dude.
Gotta be a catch. There's always a catch.
That's one thing with Amazon though that I've been finding with the Alexa is I have Google or Android Auto in my car, and anything I tell that, I could ask that thing anything and it'll figure it out. And Amazon, I'll ask Alexa, and man, that motherfucking thing comes up with some crazy ass answers. It just makes shit up sometimes. A lot of the time.
Alexa, are you bullshitting me?
So I think I think Amazon really needs to step their game up with the fucking AI or whatever the fuck they got going on.
Funny. All right, we're gonna move on now to Teddy. No more Harry Potter. Oh, look, he even typed it that way.
Yeah, I did. So St. Edward's Catholic School in Nashville, Reverend Dan, what's his name? Rehill, has banned Harry Potter books. He sent out a fucking email to the faculty. Says the 7 books present magic as both good and evil, which is not true, but in fact a clever deception. The curses and spells used in the books are actual curses and spells, which when read by a human being risk conjuring evil spirits into the presence of the person reading the text.
Jesus.
I have consulted several exorcists both in the United States and Rome, and they have recommended removing the books from circulation. Okay. So this crazy fucker thinks that the Harry Potter books are real, and the fucking I don't know what he spells from the fucking book or movie. So
you would see a lot more owls flying around if it was real.
or a lot more kids would have been fucking. Something would have happened. It is just these people are fucking retarded. It's just a goddamn shame. And the fact that this is Nashville doesn't surprise me. There's a law like I had my bachelor party in Atlanta because there's they petitioned to a law around here to where there is a 3-foot law for strip clubs. There's now a barrier to where you want to I feel it's more degrading because you have to ball up the one or whatever you're gonna throw, whatever tipper and chuck it at her instead of putting it behind your ear or whatever and letting her come and get it like you used to. Nope. Ball it up and chuck it at it. So now you're trying to see if you can hit the bitch in the left nipple or something. It's more like a game, and I feel like it's more degrading. But they call Tennessee the Bible Belt, the buckle of the Bible Belt, and this shit's just retarded. Goddamn fucking stupid Catholic retards.
Goddamn retarded Catholic.
I've been to the Vatican out of walk.
So are they saying the Vatican is against it, or is this just some local nut?
No, this is just some local nut, and they But the superintendent is it's his school. He can do it if he wants. It's just books and shit.
It's cool.
Just let him. But this is what happens. This is what happens when you don't let guys fuck. All right, just sit at home. Goddamn Harry Potter. Okay.
This is true.
If God wants you to be born without a dick, all right, just use it. Okay, it's fine. Jesus Christ.
See, we're gonna go on to now Mystic with violence.
I think Mystic there,
but... he left. His battery died, didn't he?
No, I'm here. It's just everyone decided to come downstairs and talk while I'm trying to do this. So anyway, 2 days ago, I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, this woman was shot on the corner of 51st and Capitol because they got into a fender bender.
Damn.
And argued, and then someone in the car that I don't know who it was that they got hit or did the hitting decided to pull out a gun and shoot this lady.
Wow.
How old was
she? Teaching her kid how to drive. I don't fucking know, 50 something, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the point is that somebody got shot over a fucking traffic.
Yeah, while teaching your kid to drive, that's I would never want to drive then.
I was fucking 16. Violence in these cities is fucking ridiculous, and I'm sure it's not just Milwaukee. It happens in every fucking big city, and it's stupid. Pull out a gun over some shit like that? Come on.
Yeah, on a lady too, though.
Right.
Yeah. Amazing. It's you'll have people like that where it's where is your conscience? Jesus,
mm-hmm.
Who raised you?
Right.
Teletubbies.
That's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Teletubbies are the devil.
Goddamn Teletubbies taught me to pull out my gun to solve situations.
Are y'all being racist again? Is that what it is? Is it gonna be?
That was my hillbilly. Okay,
Yeah,
we're making fun of Teletubbies.
no.
Jesus, you're so
You were doing
sensitive.
hillbilly. Oracle was being racist. I see that smirk. I see that fucking smirk.
That's some bullshit, dude.
That's
some severe bullshit.
Let's go. Wait till my turn's in 2 weeks.
We're all racist, Teddy. We know it. As white people, we can't help it. It's our nature.
Goddamn.
So,
crackers.
in all seriousness, go fuck yourself, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's our show. We're going to be here every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Central, maybe Thursdays. You can check us out during the conversation at theredeyereport.com or facebook.com/theredeyereport. You can also twiddle us, but nobody cares and nobody uses it. So twiddle the air. Otherwise, like us, share us, fuck us. We're down for whatever. I am the ashtray.
I'm Oracle.
I'm Teddy.
I'm Mystic.
And this is the Red Eye Report.
Yeah, I was like, what are you waiting on? Jesus Christ. You're like a Tennessean. You're just so slow. Fuck.
Yep. It's hot in here.
These people are so slow down here. I hate it. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh.
All right.